Yeah, they was on Facebook. They were doing wrestling comparisons. They were like, man, if a wrestler have the same popularity of a basketball or NBA basketball player, well, who would have the same comparison? And the thing is, I think they had some wrong. I have disagreements on that. I think they had some wrong people that became Ned. I think they said Stone Cold Steve Austin was Michael Jordan. I said no, nope. That's not it. The Michael Jordan of wrestling was Hulk Hogan. Okay, this is for like the younger generation. Okay, if anybody grew up in the '80s and early '90s, Hulk Hogan was the shit. Okay, in wrestling, because Hulk Hogan came from the AWA. After years and years trying to wrestle Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA title. Vince McMahon Jr. wanted to bring Hogan along as his new champion because Hogan had a lot of charisma. It was another thing about it. He did Rocky 3 with Sylvester Stallone. When he had no balls to tell Vince Sr., which is Vince Jess McMahon, that hey, I want to do I want to go to Hollywood and do the Rocky 3 movie. Cause I promised Mr. Stallone I was going to do that. And Vince McMahon Sr. pretty much told Hulk Hogan, Terry, either you're going to wrestle or you're going to go out and be a movie star. So he said, I'm going out to be a movie star. You can fire me, quit, whatever. So he was fired. So he went to do the movie. So right after that movie, he was like, well, man, I want to go ahead and try out professional wrestling again, even though he had a deal with Japan. So he went to Greg Gagne, because he had a relationship with them in Florida. Went to the AWA and became a big household name. So only thing that was getting Hogan the momentum that he needed was he didn't have the belt. And once the company's title, and then once he went from AWA to WWE, you start to see the machine got behind him. You know what I'm saying? The World Wrestling Federation got behind him, which is the WWE at that time. Got behind him. So Hogan is a lot like the Michael Jordan of wrestling. They both came up in the 80s. They both was new kid on the block. They both ended up getting success in both their sports. And they made a lot of money. So they were household names. They became ratings, and they became this. They broke box office records and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? In the early 90s, and they became the face of the company. Like Hogan became the face of the WWE. Michael Jordan became the face of the NBA later. Okay, so you have to look at this way. When Hogan ended up wrestling Iron Sheik for the WWE title, beat Iron Sheik, and held the WWE for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Held the WWE title for 4 years. So he been, off and on, you know what I'm saying, going to McDonald's, doing this, doing that, I'm talking about the tours was coming off the damn shelves back in the day. So, just like with Jordan, Michael Jordan came along with the shoe deal, and they pretty much, you know what I'm saying, and they pretty much said, well, we're going to pay you a significant amount of money for Nike. You know what Jordan did? No, fuck that. I want stock options, and next thing you know, they end up giving him a whole nother wing of Nike, which is Jordan brand. So they both became household names in the 80s and the early 90s. So they both were champions. They both made a lot of money. They both, was the highest paid in their sport. So I say, they on top of that, they both was on TV shows and shit. So I say Hulk Hogan was Michael Jordan of wrestling. Because without Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania wouldn't be WrestleMania. It wouldn't be a WrestleMania. It wouldn't be a Steve Austin. It wouldn't be a Shawn Michaels. It wouldn't be because think about it. Hogan was the guy that they put all this shit on his back. No, Hogan, you, Right Piper, Mr. T, all y'all got to deliver, because if y'all don't make this shit happen, Vince McMahon damn to put up his house. He was gonna be in a financial difficulty, so he stacked the card. Billy Martin from baseball, Cyndi Lauper, from entertainment, from music the industry. He stacked the card. And the thing is, if Hogan didn't pull it off, WWE would have became bankrupt, and they would have been blackballed from any other damn territories, any little the family support groups back in the day. So they were going to be hard to make a living in the United States. So they had to pull off WrestleMania. So you have to look at this way. With Michael Jordan, with the Chicago Bulls, a coke-infested ass Chicago Bulls, before Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, that was a losing ass franchise. They lost money, they lost a lot of shit, because they didn't have a player to identify with. Here comes this young 6'6", flashy, can do nothing, do everything in the fucking air, and had charisma, and had personality, and had all this shit going on with him, and went to Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls will not win 6 NBA titles without Michael Jordan. And Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, everybody else later. But you got to have that cornerstone player. Put players surrounding this motherfucker. You got to have that franchise player to put around this motherfucker, so that way you have a strong ass team. If you have a core player and you don't have a supporting cast, y'all ain't gonna win shit. That's how I look at it. But like I said, I feel them all. Then on top of it, they was talking about some Ric Flair. If he was an NBA star, Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? The one that won the most championships, the one that everybody talk about, you know what I'm saying, as far as in the black community. Because you got to look this way. Ric Flair was talked about in the black community like a motherfucker back in his day. Because you got to look at what he the total opposite of Hulk Hogan, and that motherfucker can tell you, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm the world heavyweight champion. You know what I'm saying? I fuck around and I got a limousine a mile long with 25 women just down for me to go, whoa! Then on top of that, I work custom made from head to toe. You know what I'm saying? I got the leather shoes. They on sale. They're about $700. You know what I'm saying? I got the Rolex watches. You know what I'm saying? That's almost two grand. I got this. He told you what the fuck he was gonna do. And he's one of them big ass thunder shades and shit with that long blonde ass hair, and that motherfucker had them clothes and suits and shit. And he was a 17, but 16-time world heavyweight champion. He won the most titles at that time. You know what I'm saying? Before John Cena tied him, and before Sting tied him. But he was the first 16-time world heavyweight champion out of all of them. And he one of the ones that made the most money in WCW and NWA. So he was the biggest draw that they had at that time. So when you had the best that the NWA ever had, and you had the best that WWE ever had, you gonna make money with Hogan and Ric Flair. So that's how I look at it. So I put it like this: you got Bill Russell, and then they say Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, that's Larry Bird. Think about it. What type of person that talk trash, drink a beer, and then tell you what the fuck he gonna do to you? That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says so. Think about it. That's Larry Bird. The hit from French Lick. Larry Bird was well liked and everything. You know, so remember, he came at a time that the NBA lost a lot of fucking money. They were watching college games other than watching them type of games. And The Rock was Magic Johnson to me. That's Magic Johnson. You gotta look this way. Everybody started liking them later on and shit like that. And remember, there was a rivalry. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock was a rivalry like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird was. You know, they go head to head, back and forth. So that is the comparison of wrestling and NBA players. That's the comparison. Like I said, it's your boy Tommy, getting off.